Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the My Crypto Journey live stream. Here for Crypto is Boring and crypto, I guess. Welcome to the stream, baby. If you're watching over on YouTube, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you like being here. And if you're watching over on X, make sure to like, repost, all that good stuff. Yeah, I'm going early. I'm going live in the morning, baby. I'm feeling it today. You know what I mean? I'm feeling it. You know? I think it's because I got a new background a little bit. I mean, got some lights and shit here. I need to fix this. I need to unfuck this cord. It's really bothering me, so I'll just cover it with my head for now. What's up, Glenn? How we doing? Selmo Fudd, #1 in the chat. Hopefully we get a hobby sighting this morning. How we doing? Glenn's like, Rick Rock, Randall. We got the B&Bers in the chat. What's going on? Crypto's boring, man. It's just fucking so dead right now, you know? Now, obviously, yesterday we thought the market was going to bounce a little bit. You know, but obviously that hasn't really happened. We did get a little bit of momentum yesterday with Bitcoin. You know, obviously all things follow Bitcoin. Even if you look at the 24-hour chart right here, you can see that it's just kind of playing with our emotions, right? Don't go breaking my heart. You know, are we getting a bounce or are we not? You know, what's going on? Jason, GM, how we doing? Are we getting a bounce? Or stop playing with us, right? But we are poor again, ladies and gentlemen. What's been interesting though is that the volume in crypto in general has gone down. Like, and obviously, you know, even when we look at like small cap crypto projects, one of the big things we do is just pay attention to volume. Like that's huge, right? Just the general interest, whether it's bad volume or good volume. But obviously, you know, the interest in Bitcoin is gone. I mean, 40% over the last 24 hours is kind of crazy for volume, which means maybe not a lot of people are selling, but not a lot of people are buying. And, you know, the interest is kind of, you could say, sputtering out. Now, I will say, you know, if you go back to the past year, we did double top a little bit, you know, so it's not like, you know, for the technical analysis guys, it's not like we didn't double top and maybe we're going to go down, but who knows? A lot of uncertainty in the world and the markets with this administration, a lot of things. I mean, really hot start, you could say, to the year for crypto, but just been kind of boring, you know? Glenn says, yeah, it's bad. The only thing we can hope for is QE giving us a huge bump next year. You know, I don't know. You know, there's some big prominent crypto figures like Arthur Hayes, for example, who like has been slowly selling his bag, you know, and I can't really, you know, like for example, like Arthur Hayes, right? Now this guy was like obviously huge on like Hyperliquid, right? Shout out to my brother, another black man in crypto. I love to see it, but you know, huge on Hyperliquid. Said it's gonna like 120x or something crazy like that. As soon as Aster comes out and gets a little bit of that market share for Hyperliquid, he starts selling his Hyperliquid. And now that Zcash, right, is like hot. He's just following like that kind of narrative. And the thing for me is like, it's so crazy to see like these big prominent crypto people just get with whatever's trendy. Like no one will just stick to their fucking guns. It's just trendy. Zcash is trendy. Is Zcash trendy because people are fucking using it? Or is Zcash trendy because people are just tweeting about it and they want to keep their engagement up? I get it. You know, I'm an engagement guy. I get it. But like, I would expect more from bigger figures in this space. Like, dude, what the fuck you're supposed to be the guy that tells us what the fuck is going on, you know? Felix says, all I know is Michael Saylor isn't going to get liquidated, and that's where I have my liquidation for Bitcoin. So if Michael Saylor goes down, I will too. Well, if Michael Saylor goes down, I mean, I'm telling you something. Yeah, it's going to wreck the market, right? 3 trillion market cap for whole crypto. We are too early, guys. Just hold DCA. Yeah, no, I'm not saying the bull run's over by any means. What I'm saying is that there's a lot of uncertainty like with the rest of the world. Keep in mind, guys, crypto is a risk-on asset. It's a risky asset. And when things get tough with the economy, one of the first things people do is get away from risk-on assets. They just do that, right? The average Joe. And I would say that we haven't even had retail come into crypto yet. But that's what people do when things aren't looking good, right? What's up, Knox Bill? Beamalax says, yeah, crypto is becoming boring like stonks. So I would say that as you know, time goes on, as we get more liquidity in crypto, I think the obviously the volatility goes down, right? But that's why we like crypto volatility. Value ebbs and flows from the market to market and region to region. Plans are made in decades and centuries. 50-60% swings scare you. Crypto might not be the product for you. You know, RJG. You know, obviously, you know, super clickbaity title and stuff like that. But we understand, right? The reason why we love crypto is because it's volatile. And you know, I made a good point on meme coins last night, or we talked about meme coins last night, where you know it's not uncommon for not just meme coins, but most crypto projects, right, to do a 50 to like 90% retracement. We see that all the time. Obviously, not for the big caps. We don't see like 90% retracement, but some meme coins, we see them get down in the dumps before they absolutely send, right? I think like all this uncertainty is not coming from it's, with me, it's never really a crypto thing. It's like a man thing. It's like same thing with like FTX, Do Kwon and stuff like that. Like that was all a person thing, not a crypto thing, really. Wayne A, good morning. How we doing? Finance Freeman, what's up, brother? How we doing? GM. That's the issue. There's no new money coming in. Yeah, I mean, to keep it real, guys, all the interest in crypto has been from institutions. Let's be honest. Like we haven't had a true retail kind of wave in crypto. And I don't know if you call like the pump fund meta and those sorts of things retail, because really it does seem like there was a lot of new people in crypto for, pump fund and those sorts of things. I just don't think we keep a lot of those people that join crypto for pump fund because they end up getting burned, FOMO like a mofo. Yeah, true. I mean, obviously I'm buying the dips on a lot of things, right? Wayne A thinks it's very normal. RJG says, I made all bags last year in APU, profit into USDT, and then purchased AU and AG. Now I'm glad I bought the gold and silver. You know what, RJG? That's what you want to do, right? One of the things I wish I would have done more aggressively is stable out, because I did stable out quite a bit, but I don't think I was as aggressive as I should have been. There's a lot of like, contradicting like ideologies on X are just like everywhere when it comes to like the markets. Like you have really big people like Tom Lee, for example. Tom Lee's probably the biggest one. If like Michael Saylor is the Bitcoin guy, like Tom Lee's obviously like the Ethereum guy. Like Tom Lee thinks that Ethereum has bottomed out, right? He still thinks that Ethereum's going to have a 100x run. Now, obviously there's no time limit on that, but he acquired 63 million of Ethereum today. He thinks that Ethereum will bottom this week. And that's a sentiment I've seen from a lot of people, that they think that crypto is bottoming right now and we're getting ready to, lift off. So that's interesting, right? Sunshine BNB, GM. Darth Trader says pump fund chase people away. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it did chase people away, and I think that's the reason why meme coins are kind of ruined in a sense, is because nobody really buys projects to hold them for an extended amount of time, You still keen on Brett? Yeah, really, I'm keen on, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to just chat, shoot the shit. I'm going to do whatever questions you have. If you need some answers for something, we can look up stuff and whatever. If I'm betting on meme coins, which I'm always betting on meme coins, you want to bet on the top ones, right? If you're chasing small caps, and I know there's a lot of small caps that like to tap into the chat, but your chances of getting wrecked are high. What we've seen with meme coins is like, even though they're pretty down on the year, they're volatile in a good and bad way, right? We'll see meme coins do some insane things when the market pumps, and you can always get some sort of 20%, 50% pump when some of these things bottom out, right? And you could pay attention to whether or not it's bottomed out based on what's going on in the market, right? If we think Bitcoin's bottomed, Ethereum's bottomed, we probably think that some of these meme coins are bottomed. And you just got to bet on the top ones. Like if you're getting outside the top 20 meme coins and 50, like you're really rolling the dice here. But, obviously Pepe is one that I'm doubling down on. Shiba Inu, Doge, like those ones are going to move with the market. Last year was good for stable out, not now. What's up, Randall? How we doing? It depends on where you got in, but I agree. Obey, GM. Yes, we are early today. I felt like going early. Kay, thank you so much for reposting the stream. I appreciate you, Kay. Thank you so much. And if you guys could repost the stream, it's free to do. Josh says, good morning. Josh, good morning. Brett, problem is for that market cap community still weak. I think the community is pretty good, Randall, compared to a lot of communities. And I think it all depends on your feed on X, because my feed on X is pretty bullish on Brett. I'd say some of the morale is down on some meme coins, but that's natural with price action, right? Jimmy O says Aura is cooking. How is Aura actually doing? Aura is one of the projects that was doing pretty well while everything was taking a shit, but I think Aura is actually not bad. Yeah, so it's pulled back quite a bit, but $35 million market cap size. I don't know if you guys saw this one, 67, but this one was doing very well, like 40. Look at this thing. This thing is ripping. Right now, obviously, it's pulling back a little bit, but I mean, if you're a part of this community back in like September, good for you. Hey, what's up, Blaze? How we doing? Hey, good to see you in the chat. Good to see you. It's good to see you. Got a new name, Blaze? Why do your X accounts keep getting banished? SPX Giga Mini BNBers. These lists makes your soul clean and makes you rich. Hey, we're gonna see, right? Mob says Brett is going to cook. I believe so too. I believe so too. Give me 1 second here. All right. Slingler told me to buy LMAA at 300K. I faded last week, and I faded. I didn't know there was another meme coin. You know what? How's it doing? I don't see one, but I can't imagine. Yeah. Hey, sometimes we fade a lot of projects in this. Is this the one right here? I mean, it's at 2 milli. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of projects that I fade that end up like being good that I fade, but there's also a lot of projects. That I miss out on and whatnot. But yeah, just to go to show, like, even people like Arthur Hayes, it's like they say one thing and they literally do another. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's selling, but like to say, Hyperliquid's going to 120x. And then when Aster comes into the space and everyone's freaking out about Hyperliquid, you sell your shit. And then like now you're like pretty much on the main narratives of Zcash. Like, so obviously Zcash has been doing phenomenal, right? Zcash and the privacy meta, like Monero, Zcash, like, and there's like a lot of hype beasts in the crypto space, and they're just gonna fuck. And I get it. It's hot. I get it's hot. But like, this is a dead project by all, if you look at the chart, but obviously it's doing very, very well. Now, I don't know if it's just because people really care about privacy or they just are getting on to like the hottest trend right now. That's what I don't like when things pump in the crypto space. And that's why I love meme coins so much, because meme coins have no inherent value. And pretty much they're like the true essence of like crypto as of right now. Is like no one's really buying crypto for the technology. They're just not. I'm telling you, they're not. There's a small minority of people that are buying crypto for the technology. Mostly people are buying it for price goes up, right? And I'm not sure people are buying Zcash because they care about privacy or they want their bag to pump, It's a project that's been around forever. And a lot of people are saying that, privacy is becoming more and more important in this space. And yeah, I do think that it's important, but it's always been important in crypto. It's what has changed. Nothing has changed. You know what I mean? Arthur Hayes looks like Willie D. Brett is. Can you check out Chonky, Sir Rodney? I have small bag of it. I can check it out in a little bit. I want to get to the regular news though. Brett is still doing well compared to other boys clubs. I mean, that is true. That is true. Superman Dan, thank you so much for reposting the stream. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. We did see that Michael Saylor was featured on Forbes, which has been a curse before, right? With like fucking Sam Bankman-Fried and stuff like that. But we do have people like obviously Cameron, the Winklevoss twins, saying that this is the last time you'll be able to ever be able to buy Bitcoin below a 90K, which I hope so, right? I hope that we're just, we dumped a little bit, we're trading sideways and we're getting ready to fucking blast off again. That's what I hope, But yeah, I mean, the truth is like hindsight's always 2020, and people are going to regret not getting in on. That's why I say like it's hard to time the market, so it's better just a dollar cost average. People hate that advice because it's not like when should I buy? The truth is no one really knows, but you can get an idea. And it feels like we kind of bottomed out and we're probably just going to consolidate for a little bit. Like there's a lot of things going on in the world that affect crypto and you don't know about it. Like obviously a big thing is like how crypto is like seen as like conservatism kind of in the United States. That's how it seemed because literally Trump is championing crypto, right? And if Trump champions crypto, obviously the media is going to go after anything, he does in a negative way. And it seems like crypto bros are all conservative, which I would say that probably a lot of us are, or at least tend to lean that way. But there's a lot of that going on with the whole Epstein situation. Interest rates. Are we going to fire Jerome Powell? Are we going to keep interest rates lower? Are we going to keep cutting interest rates? Because that's what a lot of people thought we were doing. So that's actually a huge deal. And then we've seen and another thing too, I've noticed, guys, is that there's a lot of like OG Bitcoin or just crypto wallets in general that just started selling this run. Like kudos to them, right? But we've seen like movements from Mt. Gox, right? Obviously, they have a whole issue that pay people back and whatnot. We've seen BlackRock selling like fucking crazy, right? Institutions. And the thing with institutions is like, and I always talk about this, is like They're the reason why we're such an insane in an insane bull market now, because BlackRock, Fidelity, all these ETFs, all the institutional interest on Bitcoin, right? It made it like, it was kind of like a you could always buy Bitcoin, right? But with these ETFs, it kind of makes it like a safer investment, you could say, because you have the biggest money manager in the world kind of signing off on it. And they're always buying, they're obviously they're buying Bitcoin up like crazy. But keep in mind, these guys are about, the bottom line is making money for their clients and themselves, right? And so when the market starts to dump, one of the first things they're going to do is just dump too, because they want to get, sidestep all the, all the red stuff in the market, and buy back cheaper. So that's true, Oro will be at Solana Breakpoint Abu Dhabi. Nice. Shout out to the Oro team. Bricks, what's up, portfolio? Once the big boys stop manipulating, will we be back, Rodney? Just a matter of time. Stay strong. Yeah, and the important thing is, like, if you've been in this space for a while, like we've had some things that have been done that haven't been done in the space before, like that largest liquidation event that happened on 10/10, right? We just lost like $19 billion in a fucking hour. Like that's new. That's never been done. Not even with Terra Luna and FTX and stuff like that. But really, if you've been in this space for a while, like you've gone through this bullshit. Like we know the game. You know what I mean? Like we kind of figure out what the game is, Shout out to the Momo army. Nothing is going to cook. Everyone buying will get cooked. I think the truth is, guys, right now, like there's a lot of good small caps out there, but now is the time to just bid on what's trendy and hot. That's big, which is Privacy Coin, Zcash, Monero. So double down on that. Aster, right? Aster's obviously a good protocol that will probably never go away because, there are associations with Binance and stuff like that. And the fact that people are actually using them, because say what you want about Aster, it's always one of the tops protocols when it comes to perp dexes, right? That's a big narrative too. Hyperliquid, right? Obviously Aster and those sorts of things. Obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? You want to make sure you double down on projects that seem like safer, right? During this time right now, you don't want to be going too heavy into small. And I know we love small caps and I know we love gambling and stuff. And there's some good small caps out there that are going to make 100Xs. But right now is the best thing to do is just bid on top plays that at least have been doing something in the space for a while. I mean, XRP, Cardano's, because I do think that some altcoins, right? But I do think that when the market starts to run again, we're finally going to get that altcoin season. Because here's the thing. A lot of people said we haven't had an altcoin season, those sorts of things. And we're still waiting for this retail to come in and altcoins to pump. And I understand that point of view. But it's not like we haven't had some top altcoins doing some pretty big things. XRP hit its all-time high. BNB's been absolutely killing it. We had Solana hit all-time highs. Tron hit all-time highs. This is since the last bull run, right? Zcash coming out of nowhere. Hyperliquid's brand new to the space doing crazy things. Litecoin, Monero, right? Swee's new to the game. Uniswap is doing pretty good. It's not like we haven't had altcoins do some insane things. We just haven't had our Avalanches, our Hederas, our Cardano's, our Polkadots match their all-time highs from like 2021, right? So in my opinion, when you see like the real retail come into the space, like the real kind of crypto craze, you see all those old altcoins like coming alive. Like on YouTube, when you start seeing like Cardano videos, all-time high, and Crow and XRP and stuff like that, that's when you know we're getting like a true altcoin season, if you believe it didn't happen yet. And the other argument is, well, Bitcoin dominance is just really not there, right? Because obviously people say when Bitcoin dominance goes down, obviously altcoins pump, and then that's a true sign of altcoin season. But my counter argument is there's just so much institutional interest on Bitcoin this cycle. There's so much, and for good reason. It's digital gold. It doesn't have some of the other problems that some of these other projects do, that are riskier, you could say. It's finite. You can't make more of it. People think of it as digital gold. Obviously gold's been on an absolute tear. We have ETFs for other projects, but it's not the same as like Bitcoin. Like even the Ethereum ETFs didn't do as well as Bitcoin did right out of the jump, right? So it's like when you mix that in with like people's theory on altcoin season, it's like, well, maybe the percentage of market cap share that Bitcoin has doesn't really go down to the numbers we're used to for an altcoin cycle. Maybe it doesn't go below 50%. Maybe it stays above just because the interest is so high in Bitcoin, you know. But as a market cap in general, you know, crypto is done pretty damn well. You know, I mean, what did we hit? Fucking 4.2 trillion. You know, that's not bad. I mean, that's smashed. You know, if you go to all time, that's smashed what, 2021. You know, like we're doing some pretty damn good things. You know, as a market cap as a whole for crypto, it's actually not bad. You know, so I mean, that's one thing to point out. I'm gonna take a piss. I'll be right back. I'll get back into it right now. But make sure to like the stream, repost, all that good stuff. Like, it's not like we haven't had a, you know, an actual bullseye. And Caesar, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Everybody welcome Caesar to the Degenerates. That eggplant looks oh so nice. If you don't know how I do my memberships here, when you're new, you get an eggplant. And as you get, you know, maybe I should change those. But as you, you know, grow or just be, you know, when you're a member long enough, you know, upgrade logos and those sorts of things like that, you know. And shout out to the Aura community. I appreciate you. Club Crow, how we doing? Blaze says Aster is outperforming alts. You know, I think a lot of people cock ride CZ too hard. Excuse my French here. You know, Aster's. I will say that Aster is bulletproof, in my opinion. I think that it cannot fail, and I think that it's definitely going to kill it. But Aster is a brand new altcoin, so when you say it's outperforming a lot, that's true. But really, like, on the weekly chart, and it's like not doing that much better than a lot of other alts. You know, it's really not. You know, so that's something to really pay attention to. But it has a lot of hype around it because it is like it's like Zcash. It's the new, it's like the new kind of, it's the new blood in the space, and for good reason, right? Perp dexes are very popular, right? People like to use leverage, right, and bet. But they have dark pools, so you can do it kind of anonymously and not get purposely liquidated by, you could say, market makers, right? But Aster, in my opinion, is like, it's not that it's anything special. It's just new in the space, and they have the #1 KOL in CZ talking about it. It's like a lot of hype projects, right? Crypto is about a lot of hype, right? It's like a lot of other hype projects. It's like it has that same kind of thing. It's just a hyped project by the #1 KOL in the space, CZ, who has a lot of power, probably the most powerful man in crypto. I don't care what anybody tells you. CZ is the most powerful man in crypto. And even though, you know, it had a, you know, major pullback, I still think that it's not going anywhere because people, it's for a couple of reasons, right? The first big reason is because it's tied to Binance, and Binance has infinite money. Binance is the #1 exchange in this. If you guys don't know, Binance, like, you're going to be flabbergasted. Binance is the #1 exchange in crypto when it comes to trading volume and trust, right? I mean, remember, CoinMarketCap is Binance's website. But when it comes to trading volume, they have $19 billion trade. And this is all while not serving American customers. Binance US, where's Binance US at? Binance US, did they combine it? Maybe it's Binance TR now. I don't know. But Binance US is the United States Binance exchange, right? And maybe it is, they changed it up or whatever. But Binance.com has the most volume, and it's not even close, right? I mean, we can go to rank by volume. OrangeX is, you know, you could say $12 billion in daily trading volume, but like, how much is that? Like, how accurate is that? I believe that Binance has accurate scores, right? But when it comes to like exchange scores, I mean, it's Binance number 1, Coinbase number 2, and literally it's like Coinbase has 3.3 billion, Binance has 19 billion. So when it comes to Aster, like Aster, in my opinion, working with Binance and those sort of, it's unstoppable. It's unstoppable. But I don't think it's like, it's not like it is literally just like kind of like a hype play too. But it's going to do nice. It's one of those ones, in my opinion, that it's obvious to see from the get-go that Binance is going to be okay and probably never go away and always do well and hit $10 and those sorts of things. So Aster's a great play, unless you have to understand that unless, we get a new administration and they start changing all these rules on crypto and those sorts of things. Hello. You get fruit? Freak. I don't really care. You're not. You're out. Okay. You gonna go work? Okay. You can have all that fruit in there. I found your cheese. They didn't have the other kind of cheese though. Okay. I'm fucking locked in. Was he weird? Was he old?
He was probably like 40.
I'll talk about it later. Okay. So I gotta say hi to the girlfriend. But Aster, in my opinion, is kind of bulletproof. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. I mean, look at the volume, like PerpDex volume, like Aster's number 3, and yesterday was number 1, so it's always kind of changing. But Milton Bates says Zcash looks unstoppable. Yeah, Zcash is one of those things where I don't know if it's narrative or hype, or excuse me, I don't know if it's actual. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's actual like people care, because obviously Zcash and Monero, it's really the narrative is privacy. Like people need more privacy, but I don't think it's that. I just think it's just hype right now. I don't think that people are actually using Zcash for Zcash. I think people are just buying it because it's trendy, right? And you see it from like I mentioned before, you see it from the top down in crypto. It's like the biggest names in the space are talking about Zcash because it's good for engagement, right? True statement that the market hasn't been as bad as the sentiment. Yeah, true. I mean, we're so spoiled in this space. Aren't we so spoiled? A 90K Bitcoin, we're so spoiled, right? We topped out at 69K last cycle. And we hit 125K. Beast Encounters, hello, how you doing? Shout out to the Aura community. A real streamer. A real streamer would piss in a Gatorade cup and not walk away. Freak. I miss this guy, you fucking legend. I appreciate you. Hello. Like Jake's, obviously Jake's my boy and stuff, but I mean, there's a lot of people out there like seriously glazing CZ, and it does benefit you to glaze CZ because he's, he might do an interview with you, he might repost your stuff, and people will follow you because of that. So, Zcash and Bitcoin Cash running neck and neck. Yo, what up, Rodney? Just subscribe. What's up, everyone? Got to stay connected, especially during these times. And always no crying in the casino. Shout out to the Tier community. I appreciate you guys. Zcash looks unstoppable. Yep, nice eggplant there, Caesar. Shout out to Caesar. Brynrex, good morning. How we doing? Shout out to the Rug community. Durf, Tibsby, how we doing? Tipsy? Do you like Rug volume today? I guess I can check your chart. Hey, if you're going to repost my stream especially, I'll definitely check your chart. I don't want to get to, oh my God, you guys are up 40%. Shout out to Rug. It's funny. There's a project called Rug, but I got to support you. But I do want to stick on the news. I'm ready for my favorite project, Zebec, to move. I'm tired of dollar cost averaging. Jason, and obviously Zebec's like an old school altcoin. I do think that as time goes on, I think a lot of people will be rewarded for some of these altcoins. If we do believe that crypto's bottoming out and we are trading sideways, getting ready to explode, it's going to be a massive altcoin season, a one like we were expecting, you could say. Charles, GM, how we doing? Our SEC banned Binance here. Did they really? Where are you from, Blaze? I seriously think Zcash is the choice of the BRICS countries. It could be. It's just hype plus scarcity for Zcash. True. Rug is alive, brother. Zcash is 20% privacy. XMR is 100%. Yeah, so Monero is actually, you could say, better for sure. Scarcity plus demand, price goes up. That's why coins aren't fully diluted or dangerous to hold on long-term for sure. Is there, I think there is a Fed meeting today. Yes. Obviously Trump's coming out. I actually don't know. Let me check. What's up, Hobbs? How we doing? GM. What's up, brother? I think crypto will pump when everyone gets their Trump to $2,000 tariffs. So I heard that the stimulus checks. So obviously like we're kind of like, we remember how big the stimulus checks were back during the pandemic, right? Like, dude, everybody was at home. Dude, I knew people that got laid off from their job because obviously you can't work during COVID, who were getting paid way more, and you're stuck at home. And that's when like the finance kind of thing popped. Like we had such a perfect storm back in 2021. And this is obviously, the government wasn't pro crypto then. We still had Biden in the White House, and those sorts of things. But like, it's a perfect storm, right? People are stuck at home. YouTube finance blows up. Part of that was, crypto, Dogecoin, Elon Musk and those sorts. We had a perfect storm. Epstein files or GTA 6 first. I don't know if we're going to get the fucking, I don't know if we're going to get GTA 6. I think next year, right? Next, like a year from now, but we're going to get the Epstein files. But this is going to happen with the Epstein files. They're going to say things are under investigation, so they can't reveal them, right? But the flip-flopping has been kind of crazy with this administration on the Epstein files. Like they literally ran on releasing the files, and now they're like, oh, nothing happened. And now there's something happened. And then Trump was a fucking government agent or something. This administration is fucking not looking good. FOMC meeting minutes from last meeting, no Fed meeting today. Okay. Market will be waiting for the NVIDIA earnings at the close. Exactly. Yes. And obviously tech affects crypto for sure. Scarcity plus hype is all that matters in crypto. Everything else is noise. 1000% Monty Burns. And I mean, that's some alpha. Hype is big. People like look, and I do think that in the future, real world assets, NFTs, and those in different ways, right? Just blockchain technology, Bitcoin as a store of value, maybe a currency in the future, is like what we dream of. But really, crypto's hype. I'm expecting more sideways trading. Nice. I see that a lot. Hobbs, and obviously Hobbs is good technical analysis guy. Killing. I heard you were spitting truth in the your Discord last night, and I haven't been in there, but I still pay for it because you deserve to be supported because you have good good stuff. So if you guys, I'm like legit, like it's not crypto. There might be some crypto stuff in there, but if you guys want legit technical analysis from a person that doesn't have as big a platform as he should have, the Trader Shop is really good information. I mean, this guy texts me all the time with like exactly what the market's going to do. Obviously no one's perfect, but it's really good stuff. So I don't know, Trader Shop, if you want to shill your Discord in here, it's really good information, guys. Captain BNB spam alert. Shout out to Captain BNB. A lot of Dems were working directly with Epstein to blackmail Trump. Stacey Plaskett was texting Epstein during a congressional testimony. Unreal. That's true, Monty Burns. But the thing I want to see with Trump is like stick to the plan. You ran on releasing the Epstein files. Maybe it's not incriminating. Then release them. Release them. Obviously protect some of the victims, right? But release them unredacted so people can see what's going on. If there's nothing to hide, just release them. Because I did see it from some of those emails that it did see there's a lot of blackmail going on. I get it. Fine. But don't say there is files, Pam Bondi hyping it up, then there isn't. Then doing that whole thing with social media influencers, giving them a bunch of redacted files that did nothing. It's like you're making yourself and your party look bad. And now we're going after Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's been a true MAGA Republican, like America first. And now we're slandering her for just because she's speaking out against Israel and like AIPAC. Like that's crazy to me. It's like you're fracturing your party. I'm not a Trump guy. Look, I supported Trump obviously because he's really pro crypto. And the truth is that Trump is pro crypto, but like we've seen so many deals go on in the background, like CZ, for example. Like CZ did just to get a pardon. Trump literally said he didn't know who he was, but he trusted his son. So Trump used his presidential pardon for a guy he didn't even know what was going on. Didn't we just get on Biden's ass for using AutoPen and not paying attention to some of the things he was doing? So now we're going to pardon some guy because your son said it was okay. Like that's your presidential pardon, And obviously there's, the Trump family's made a killing on crypto. I mean, it's almost $1 billion and a lot of unrealized gains, and it hasn't even been a year yet. So they are in this space, milking this space. I'm not saying for, obviously there's good things that come with that. But like, once you see what's going on, it really fucks with you. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to see something and not dig into it. Like I support Trump, but if we're going to get in office and we talk about no more wars, and the first thing we do is bomb Iran, and now we're gearing up to take out Venezuela. The fucking war in Ukraine is not over. right? I like the pro crypto stuff. We're going to say the Epstein files don't exist. Now they exist. Now they don't exist. Now they exist. Now we want to release them. It's like, we got to fucking, and now we're going to go after our own people that like supported you, like the American first people, you know? It's just, it's obvious, blatant bullshit. And I can't just pretend like that's not happening, you know? And a lot of people will say, oh, well, you should be paying attention to your own life, and only poor people think about. I think as a society, we draw the line at pedophilia. We don't care about financial crimes. We don't care about motherfuckers murdering their whole family. We don't care about war crimes. But where we draw the line is pedophilia, right? That's where we're supposed to. Like, if you go to prison, you could literally do some crazy shit. But if you're in prison for fucking pedophilia, like, you're lowest of the low, right? So we got to draw the line somewhere, you know? They're going to release Epstein files, but heavily redacted at the point to pretty much. Yeah, I know. I think Trump was hiding, trying to hide the fact that he was acting as an informant with the. That's what he told everybody. But if he was okay, so if Trump was acting as an informant, right? Why would you run on releasing the Epstein files and use it like all? Because he knew that a lot of people don't like the deep state, and they felt like, you know, Epstein is part of the deep state and the elites, because that's what Trump represented. You know, us going after the elites in the deep state, right? That's what he represented, like the regular guy going after the elites. And now, like, if you knew that you were an FBI informant, why run on that shit so hard? Well, because you know that a lot of people are going to vote for you because of it. Come on, guys. We all know that we cannot see the. I know, but we got to draw the line somewhere. Israel doesn't allow people to publicly dismantle them. To them, it's anti-Semitism, which is crazy because some of the best people in my life, like friends, are Jewish. Like, my best friend is Jewish and his family, and I love them so much. But I can still see the conflict of interest with Israel. It's bad. It's bad. By the way, good morning, Ramen Senpai. Well, the executive branch relies on their cabinet to put together executive orders. That's always how it's worked. But yeah, he should have been briefed about CZ. Exactly, you know? But he knew about CZ because we know what went on the back end. Binance received $2 billion in USD1, which is World Liberty Financial's stablecoin. And CZ starts. I mean, there's a good video that shows literally how the ties to CZ and the Trump administration, it's like a pay for play kind of thing. Like, we don't know, but it's obvious, right? It's obvious that CZ paid for his pardon. And look, a lot of people would say that he shouldn't have been in that spot in the first place, because I think that, you know, the U.S. Justice Department and SEC and everybody went after Binance because they're the big dogs in the space, you know. But Trump is pro his pockets, and he's using crypto for the same reason. Yes, he chose the Republican Party. Lots of ignorant people trying to make a buck, not dissing everyone in crypto, but ignorance is common, for sure. For sure. All the memes are dead. There is no hope anymore. You know, Gabriel, you know what's interesting about, and we'll go on a tangent about meme coins, is, you know, with meme coins, it's too saturated. Pump Fund really fucked it up, because what is a meme coin anymore? And it all started with celebrity tokens and obviously, you know, in 2021 the big things were like NFTs, but like Logan Paul and shit like that. And there was like projects that were bad, and we had other projects like Saitama that, you know, they were just regular guys, but it hit a $7 billion market cap size. Like, at least with some of the old shit coins and bad projects, even with Shiba Inu, there was a lot of hype and a lot of things that they were trying to build, even though you could say those things were worthless. Like Shiba Swap is literally a worse version of Uniswap, literally. And you could trade some of their tokens on it in their ecosystem. But really, back in the day, they tried to like put NFTs out, like certain, you know, they hype things up. Now, like meme coins or small cap projects literally have the lifespan of 2 hours. You know, I'm telling you, literally it's bad. They're going to sanitize the documents before releasing them, is what I heard. Yeah, for sure. I heard that too. Yeah, that's what Epstein brother reported. However viable that may be, I know. Mr. Orange scammed us all. Use crypto bros as exit liquidity. I wouldn't say that, because at the same time, Trump has helped the space. You know, it's just that we know that he's getting rich off of it too. I agree. CZ wasn't fairly targeted by Biden DOJ. Well, it depends on like your train of thought, right? Because what did they get in trouble for? They knew that they were pretty much, they had bad KYC measures. They knew that they were allowing foreign, you know, enemies of the United States to launder money and use their exchange, like terrorist organizations, people doing shady things in the dark web, those sorts of things. And they knew that they were servicing American customers. They weren't doing proper KYC. I mean, the group chats were exposed, right? And CZ came and he pled guilty to all that, agreed to step down. So but the way I see it is like, if you think about crypto, it's truly decentralized. And although there's going to be some bad things, the greater good is being able to let people do what they do online or with crypto without being bothered by a third party intermediary. Like that's the true essence of crypto. And I don't think he should have gotten in trouble for, embodying the true essence of crypto. Memes on Extract are very bullish. If I'm honest, not saturated. Yeah, there's a lot of like even XRPL. There's a lot of different networks that are, could be doing well. Try to find good communities, Gabriel. Communities that it's good to be in. Fuck the charts. Well, you don't want to fuck the charts, There's only so much KYC and AML measures an exchange can do to prevent money laundering. That's true. And if you, like I said, if you agree with the true essence of crypto, like you believe like they should be able to do it, What do you think about MasterBot on Solana? And I just hope they keep building. Obviously, Bot's a project that I showed at like 8 million. It's not 2.9, but we did hit 35 million. So hopefully you made some money, took your profits and those sorts of things. But they're still doing well. Day 4, trying to hear an opinion about Rug from you to get it. Dude, I always check Rug. What are you talking about? I always check the Rug chart. Shout out to the Rug community. You guys are up 40%. I don't know if you were here earlier, but yeah, but it's dumb to see those tiny caps are ruining SHIB, Pepe, and Doge. See, I don't think so. I just think the reason why meme coins aren't doing so well is because it's just not the meta for that. But I do think that if you're betting on meme coins, right, you got to make sure to pay attention to the top ones. And there's still a lot of X's to be made, right? Pepe's a 5X away from its all-time high-ish, Like, you got to bet on these top memes. Yeah, but even with the most robust KY... Oh, I read that already. LMFAO. Day 4, I'm trying to get your opinion about Rug, a community-driven token over a month, close to new all-time high, and today locked 0. Yeah, so Rug is... I like Rug. Obviously, small caps are dangerous. But I do appreciate you guys. First of all, your chart looks decent. It's obviously you're trending up compared to a lot of charts in the crypto space. It's very small. The volume's low, but you do have a strong community. And in this space, like you can't find projects that have strong communities. I just hope you guys continue to deliver, I'm still very bullish on Uwu, Alpha Kona DeFi, and Clue on Abstract. They all still building regardless of price action. And that's what you can look for, right? Projects that still build no matter what, Yeah, the new good morning, Beef. How we doing? Stonk. Yeah, the macro environment is not good for memes right now. We need lower interest rates and stimulus to get alts and pump, especially for memes. I just think like, obviously crypto is a risk on asset, right? In general, memes are like the fucking riskiest of risk on asset, even the top meme coins. And obviously, Solana Casino, BNB Casino, and those sorts of things. Like there's money to be made for sure. But the shelf life isn't the same as it used to be. Like you could hold something for like months before you could expect some sort of, you could hold things for months. Now it's like a few weeks tops and like maybe a day, like if you're not actively online all day, like you could literally miss 100X, Cohen, GM, how we doing? Good morning. Good morning. Like you could literally miss 100X because you're not paying attention. I'm only invested in Doge, Shiba, and Pepe as far as memes. Besides that, it's all Bitcoin, Solana XRP, Solana XLM, HBAR, SWI. I think I'll be okay. The only thing I'm down on is memes. No, I love that. That's perfect in my opinion. That's where you want to be betting right now. Like if you're going to bet on memes, bet on the top ones. There's some other ones in there too that I think are good. But you want to be betting on like top plays because if we are going to have a pump in the major altcoin season, like those are the ones that are going to do well. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab some water, guys. But let me know in the comments, maybe what you're holding, maybe some questions, anything like that. I can answer them when I get back. But I'm going to grab some water. I'll be back. Okay. Most wells borrow to seek yield. Rates are too high for borrowing. They can get a good return on conservative investments like bonds. Yeah, I know. So obviously, like when you lower interest rates, pretty much like, it's like the reason why is because people can take more risks. Like if you buy houses, loans for things, businesses, and obviously when interest rates get higher, it makes it so people aren't so keen on borrowing a ton of money and stuff like that. Like it's not a good time to do things that you would do if interest rates were low. There are over 7.7 trillion still sitting in bonds and money market funds as we speak. If rates come down, that money will start trickling down to higher risk investments. Exactly, yeah. And the average person too, like, I know we're hearing one thing from the administration, but like, think about you in your everyday life when you go to the grocery store or just to exist in general. Like, it's tough. Like, I know a lot of a lot of people, especially like boomers, maybe over the age of 60 or whatever, they always shit on the younger generation. But back in the day, you could have a job as a fucking mailman and your wife could be at home fucking being a home taker or a homemaker, and you could have a nice house and stuff like that. Like, that's just not the world we live in now. The world we live in now is like, you need multiple incomes, right? And even still, like 100K a year, like that's not enough in some places. And some people will say, oh, move away. It's like, it's not easy just to move away from wherever you're living now and start a new life in fucking bumfuck nowhere because it's cheaper. It's not like that easy, And you got to think about like the other factors, like the American dream of going to school and those sorts of, it's a trap. I mean, AI is becoming more and more prominent, and there's a lot, it's just like we're moving into a different age where it's all just like really industrialized, right? And really all like techie and stuff. And like, there's a lot of jobs that people went to school for that they're not going to be able to get because of just what technology, it's advancing. Like if you think about corporations, they don't give a shit about anything but their bottom line. And their bottom line is, can we make things cheaper and easier? And the truth is, robots and AI don't need days off. They don't take sick leave and those sorts of things, That's how I felt before I bought a bit of Miles says Jason says, I gave up on memes. I just don't have the time anymore. It's tough. That's how I felt before I bought a bit too early on top memes and sitting on some losses. This dropped for the entire year. I didn't see this coming, but been holding strong. Yeah, I mean, if you look at like the top meme coins over the last year, like even Doge is like down like 50% or some shit, right? Over the last year, we're down 59%, right? Shiba Inu is the same and Pepe is more. I've been holding Tron Bull, Brett, Lofi, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Alpha, Uwu, Clue, Kona DeFi, all my Cardano assets, sadly NFTs. Holding Supra and Supra Red Dogs, invested in SweetPlay, and have some Pepe daughter. Pepe daughter has Bitcoin, etc. But my main bag is on Abstract Chain. That's not a bad. That's actually pretty good. Facts, true. What's up, El Pepe? How we doing? Shout out to the Pepe community. How you doing, brother? Good day, folks from Australia. Just another kick in the Christmas crackers. Hopefully we get a Santa rally, but the question is, what's going to be in his bag? I fucking hope so, right? Head Mentalist, how we doing? GM. Let me yeah, so we see that like BlackRock selling at its most aggressive pace ever, those sorts of things. So institutions are selling. What's up, bud? How we doing? GM Ken? What's good? Chilling, man. Just chilling. Get some news out. Just streaming early. Let me text Jayhawk. Memes are great, but don't recommend buying in first few days. If it does a 2x, take initials out and then you can let it run stress-free. True, yeah. Obviously, when you take like I always say, like take profits on a meme coin, secure the bag first, no matter what's going on in the project, because you just never know. Even if a project talks about being utility and those sorts of things, like you got to look out for number one, man. And you're number one. Like number one has got to be you. Like you got to make sure you're getting your bag first, right? Doing good, bro. Just getting small panic attacks when I see the market doing dips. Hey, man, you should be used to it, Yeah, I'll tell Jayhawk to get his ass in the Discord. He late. at the end, at the end of everything, even if it seems like I'm not optimistic, let me turn the AC off. It's way too fucking cold in here. I'm still optimistic. I still feel optimistic. I'll say that. Like through everything, I still feel optimistic. Arman, if utility doesn't lock up tokens natively on chain, that utility will do nothing for the. Yeah, utility is just kind of like a buzzword sometimes, right? Don't you think the prediction market is just hyped like NFTs were? Well, Stonk TV, it's interesting because no, I don't. Because prediction markets is literally just gambling. It's like just gambling. It really is. And it's just another pretty way to say it. It's the same way that meme coins, like we like it, but it's different because what I like about prediction markets too is that there's like a little bit for, especially like poly market, there's a little bit for everyone. Like there's a lot of things in there that you can bet on, like crypto, sports, politics, that you may be an expert on, like some niche ass thing you could be an expert on and make money on it. And it's like the same, it's just gambling pretty much. It's like sports betting, but like for everything, right? So it's not, I don't think it's really, I actually think that's going to stick because it's just another way for us to gamble. It's like the same thing you see in like, there's a lot of like gambling in like different ways because people like, we love gambling. Even if you don't know you like gambling, we like gambling. We like this, we like having the small percentage that we could win on something, right? And even if you lose way more than you win, which you have to in order for these people to stay in business, right? It still fulfills like a need to gamble. But prediction markets are like legit, in my opinion, and they're going to stick, is because there's always something for somebody to bet on. Like you can bet on like what fucking suit a guy is going to wear, or what the coin toss is going to be at the beginning. Not if the team's going to win, what the point spread is going to be, but if the initial coin toss of the game is going to be heads or tails, So the utility narrative is nonsense. I think sometimes, yeah. Sam, I'm not worried at all. Not my first rodeo. Yep. I know what you mean. Yep. Only DeFi utility that traps value on chain is real utility. A network can have 1 million transactions a second and the price will be exactly. Yeah. Or like it really, like there's actual like crypto utility, like perp dexes, for example. Like that's real crypto utility, right? It's not real world utility, but it's us in the crypto space utility. Right now, I'm gambling on Trump and Powell for my life. See, there's like a bunch of shit you can do. Like on Polymarket, you can bet like how many times Powell's going to say like rate cuts or some shit, That's why we love prediction markets. Prediction markets, man, I mean, they're fun. You can hate gambling and be against it, but there wouldn't be a need for it. There wouldn't be a product if there wasn't a want for it, And look at now, Coinbase is building a prediction market. So Coinbase building prediction market platform. Tech analyst Jane Mansion Wong says Coinbase is developing a prediction market site backed by Kalshi. So obviously another big prediction market. Sharing early screenshots of their interface. You can use USDC and USD support with multiple market categories. Prediction markets are heating up across crypto with Coinbase, Crypto.com, and Gemini all racing to launch their own offerings. Coinbase previously told CNBC that it aims to becoming an everything exchange and partnered with Kalshi on November 13th for USDC-based event contracts. So like even Coinbase is... and hey, good for them. I think like Robinhood announced something like that too. Like, dude, prediction markets are in right now. What's going on between James and Aster? Yeah, so James Wynn is like just not big on Aster. Yeah, James Wynn. But let's be honest, like James Wynn is a rich motherfucker, but he hasn't been right a lot of the time. Even when he's right, he's kind of wrong sometimes. But a lot of people he's obviously I guess he was big on ass. I think that what a lot of what James Wynn does is just for entertainment because he's highly entertaining, and it's about engagement. And if like dunking on Aster is good for engagement, which it can be because people get mad about like, it's gonna, he'll do it. So if it's good for engagement, he'll do it, What do you think about alien-based decks? I don't know what that is. Seems so undervalued at this point. I don't know what that is. We need Kramer to come out and make some bearish announcements. He didn't make some bearish announcements. What do you think about Coinbase? What do you think Coinbase would be talking about on December 17th? You think an airdrop? Yeah, I heard that Coinbase is hyping something up. I think it could be some sort of coin announcement. So the Base network in general, Like they're seeing this. So Base, like obviously Base is getting big with Zora and like creator coins and string and just shit coins in general. Even though they weren't, I wouldn't say they weren't about supporting small cap projects, because they are. Like they're big on that. But they didn't really lean into it like Solana. But they saw how successful Solana was from like just Pump Fund and people streaming on Pump Fund. And it's not like how the end goal is to create all these good projects, but it's to get volume and momentum, and you could say shots on goal. And the more people they have building on Base is good for them, right? And I think that lately they've been talking, even though they said they were never going to do that, but they think about like how valuable having a native coin would be, you know? So they're probably going to announce maybe some coin or something like that, which would be, I think, very bullish. A Base token is going to be crazy. I'm buying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know, and it'll be anything associated with Coinbase is going to be better than anything else out there, you know. Woohoo, super excited. People who own Brett know what's coming. Yeah, you know, yeah. Obviously, Brett and Toshi fighting for the top Base meme, but right now Brett's winning. But yeah, Brett and obviously Toshi's listed on Coinbase. But the cool thing about Base memes that a lot of you guys should know is that all Base meme coins are available on Coinbase. You just got to use the DEX portion of it, you know. So literally all Base memes have a Coinbase listing right out of the gate, which I think is hilarious. All right. This is interesting. So DEX volume is still down 60% since the October 10th crash, showing liquidity hasn't bounced back. You know, market open in 15 minutes. Got to go head out. Have fun, gang. Appreciate you, Trader Shop. And we'll see how that affects the crypto market when the market's open. Right now, we're in the red. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for anything Coinbase creates. Like, you know, Coinbase as a company, even though it doesn't have as much volume as Binance, I mean, it's been a publicly traded company forever, right? Base is going native, in my opinion, because the competition is doing a TGE. They'd be fools not to make a native token and miss out on the. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're not stupid. So we did see that Trump wants to fire Jerome Powell and stuff like that. My only thing is, like, I just don't want to get to a point where Trump, and he already does, has a bunch of yes men. I think what makes America great is that even the president has limited power. It's not like a fucking monarchy where he can do what he wants. And when you have the guy dealing with money and stuff, like a yes man to Trump, like maybe he won't do what he thinks is best for the country. And I know a lot of people think that Jerome Powell is making this political, and maybe you have some point, but I think I don't see him as some sort of guy who just like hell bent on. I think he's actually trying to do what's best for the country. A Base token will kill Sweet? No, I don't think so. How could they issue a token? I thought they couldn't do that since they are a publicly traded company. Yeah, but it's different in the United States. Like, things are different now. Like, as soon as Trump got elected, like, they started listing everything, right? You know? Remember, they delisted XRP because of the whole lawsuit situation. Like, they have free game to do whatever now. I don't hate Toshi, but I see Brett would go parabolic, like Coinbase listing Kraken, Binance. I agree. What's up, Lazarus? Get some Wojak. This is obviously Brian Armstrong talking about the crypto market structure bill.
Brian Armstrong, Coinbase CEO here. I'm in the halls of Congress, back again, pushing for market structure legislation. We've seen a lot of progress since I was last here. We've now seen draft text shared by the Senate Ad Committee. Senate Banking is also working nights and weekends to get the next iteration of their text out. So we've got a good chance, I think, of a markup for this bill in December, hopefully get it to the president's desk shortly thereafter. This would be a big milestone to get crypto unlocked with clear rules in the US, which would benefit all companies. But of course, Coinbase wants to be a top crypto company, so we're working hard on product in the meantime as well. And December 17th, we've got our product event, which you can tune on the live stream to see everything we've been building in the second half of this year. Thanks all of you for continuing to show up and contact your representatives and keep pushing for clear rules for crypto in the United States. We will keep doing our part here as well to try to make it happen.
I like that. He's always out there fucking, you know, pushing for crypto. And that they've always been doing that. That's why I love Coinbase. Bro, you in the Base app? I don't think their wallet is good. I don't think it's for crypto. You know, I think that a lot of people, it's not bad, but I think they're just better options, right? Like, you don't need to have all your Base tokens on the Base app. It's okay. You know, and I made videos for them, and I just thought it's okay. Like there's a reason why like Phantom is so hot and what, and maybe it'll be hot in the future because I do think that what Base wants to do is tailor to like the retail, like the normie getting into the space. That's why, Base made a smart wallet. So people didn't have to deal with seed phrases. Literally, that's like the main point to that, How do you see Binance versus Coinbase in US? Well, there's Binance US. I honestly see a future where Binance.com becomes available to everybody in the US because of just how close you could say CZ is with the Trumps, like making it so it's available to us. But I think obviously Coinbase, in my opinion, is obviously it's not the bigger company, right? It's not the better company because, Binance kills it on volume. It's not even close. But I think that Coinbase has this thing where it's a publicly traded company. It's doing everything right. And it just feels like more legit because they've had to deal with US regulators and they've been fighting in court and those sorts of things. Like they're old. Coinbase is older than Binance, but like 4 years. So that's important too, But obviously as like bottom line numbers, Binance for sure. It's not even close, right? Coinbase would lead in US, like everyone would be using it, plus American made. True. But the thing is like maybe, but Coinbase does a good job too, I think, is they what they do is they do a good job at making their UI easy. But right now, one of the things I like to talk about is just like betting on good plays. Like might not be the biggest fan of CZ, and I think the cock writing from the community is so corny and whatnot. But what you can say is Aster is a good product that people use, and it's one of those cryptos where like it's gonna be fine. Yeah, it's down today. It's gonna be fine. Aster's going to be fine. In my opinion, I remember when Jake was talking about it a lot, we talked offline a little bit. And one thing I told him, like, dude, I think that's one of the safest plays right now. It's just literally unstoppable. The power that Coinbase has, the power that Binance has, and they're obviously it's in their ecosystem. Like they'll never let it fail. It's one of those ones where the signs are here. I think it can at least 10x. Will it beat out Hyperliquid? Maybe, maybe, but it's going to be one of the premier altcoins. The Base app isn't good and it lags. I got social access isn't that great. Lags all the time. I'm not sure. Like I've used it, the Coinbase wallet before, and to me it's cool, but to me it's like it's not that much better than like Phantom or MetaMask for me to just be like, this is the only wallet I'm going to use. I see their angle though. But if you're a crypto guy, the crypto bro, like a lot of us are, like it's not that revolutionary. We're just like, it's cool. It's cool. It's just a wallet, it's cool. I feel like that's how a lot of people feel, like, it's good, but yeah, Aster, Zcash, all these, Zcash a little less, I think is bulletproof because I think that hype could die down. But yeah, Aster's one of those plays that you just got to get in, right? Roddy, let's say you had to ape in any crypto asset, like right now, which one would it be? Like 10x or 28? For sure, Aster. Aster's big. Aster, for sure. Hedge will survive these crazy times. We've been surviving. All we can do is, dude, Hedge is a small, I did see Hedge. It's like a small meme coin, right? Yeah, you guys have been doing well. The market cap is low, but the volume is pretty low too. But hey, man, at least the community's still out there talking about it, But right now, guys, I think right now where there's kind of uncertainty in the market and we're the volume's gone down in the crypto space, all across everything. The hype is kind of like in a lull. There's a lot of uncertainty on a macroeconomic level. I think right now you got to double down on plays that are good, that are like for sure not going to rug you, because the truth is a lot of people go so heavy into small caps and memes and you're going to get wrecked at some point, and that could just kill your motivation, really. NVIDIA earnings today. Yes. Watch the crypto all play. Exactly. So that's huge, right? Obviously tech and crypto kind of like correlate a lot. And if NVIDIA goes crazy, we can expect a pump in the market for sure. Crypto Hotep. I can't imagine their earnings are going to be bad. A lot of people say it's a big bubble, but I don't know about that. I don't believe much on Zcash. Like Hart says no. Hart for me on Zcash says it's just the hype play, which hey, hype is big in crypto. Things live and die on hype, So that's a thing too. Are we going back to the 80K Bitcoin range? We don't know just yet. This is a good chart right here. If you're using trend lines, this shows Bitcoin's final support is like 91K. And then you could say if we do dump, from 91K, there's some support, I guess, a little bit around 80K. So you could say that. But we just don't know. Honestly, nothing would surprise me in the crypto space. I don't feel, like a vibe. I don't feel like it's over just yet. I don't feel like it's over just yet. It feels like it just feels like we have unfinished business, right? Like unfinished business in the crypto space. Oh, fuck. Jim Cramer just posted. Almost feels like Cabal is trying to keep Bitcoin above 90K. I like Bitcoin, but I do not like any of the derivatives created by... Okay, never mind. So maybe this is bullish for us. Wait, is this bullish or bearish? Jim Cramer has been pretty good, right? I see one coin that, which I feel people are not talking about. That's Ton. Well, if you're tapped into Crash, he's always talking about it. I love Crash. Crash is not as active as he used to be, but obviously he talks about Ton a lot. And yeah, I think Ton is going to be, it's good tech, obviously. And obviously people love Telegram and Pavel and stuff like that. So remember that Doge and Pepe also at was also low at one point, but their community was having fun even if the token wasn't moving. We still have fun. We still having fun. We have been here for 19 months, and we know that there will be 1,000s of tokens that outperform us by now. But hey, how many of the biggest coins in 2024 are still alive? Yeah, that's a good point. Because the truth is, like, a lot of meme coins come and go, but it's very rare that a meme coin stands the test of time and just hype and stuff like that. I would say that we haven't had any hype meme coins that are just doing big things. We just haven't had that, and I felt like we had them a lot before. But I do think that if we do have an altcoin cycle, if the market does rip, altcoins are going to have their time, and obviously altcoins are meme coins and stuff like that. Head Mentalist thinks dump. Crash is Crash is the man. Love Crash. Good content. Obviously talks a lot of shit, especially on Base. But I just think he sees that, Base never really supported their number one crypto, which was Brett, right? That Jim Cramer line is like 50-50. Bitcoin Cabal, bullish inverse. I like Bitcoin bearish inverse. I know, exactly. I don't know what to get from that Crypto Hotep. That's a hard, it's a hard thing to... I don't think Jim Cramer's always like wrong, but we definitely highlight when he's wrong. I think the biggest one where, was like Bitcoin is at 30K and he said he wouldn't touch it. And they just went like on a generational run, right? Which I thought was hilarious. Literally on a generational run. Like you couldn't be more wrong. I just think they have him as like a lovable idiot. Give us something to, give us something to laugh at. But again, I talked about this earlier. We are seeing, shout out to Ted Pillows. We are seeing like a lot of institutions deposit, some of their cryptos in the Coinbase, which usually means they're getting ready to sell and those sorts of things, Warren Buffett, governments just know how to make the currency worthless over time. That is true. Look at the fall of the Roman Empire. Jake says there's never a bad time to buy more Aster markets. Yeah, I think Aster's going to be fine. Buy Aster. Aster is like, it's in my opinion, bulletproof. We had Eric Trump said Q4 will be unbelievable for crypto. I think that some of the Trumps are more obviously crypto savvy than the president, because I think that when it comes to crypto, if you're the president of the United States, you don't really have time to worry about just crypto. It's big to us, but like, think about the shit he has to like think about. It's a small percentage of his bandwidth. And that's why I think he trusted his sons to get CZ unbanned or excuse me, get CZ pardoned. But at the same time, I can't help shake the fact that, or shake the feeling that they're just doing this to enrich themselves and their family and stuff like that more. Like they're rich already, but more generational wealth. Have you guys heard about like the quantum computer, scare? Like at one point, apparently like we're like 10 to 20 years in the future where quantum computing could like crack Bitcoin or just, just people's codes in general for their, their wallets. Which, to be honest, like that's like a good bull case for some centralized exchanges, right? If it got to a point where, quantum computers could actually like crack crypto and Bitcoin codes and stuff like that, like centralized exchanges would be the go-to, right? Wouldn't that be ironic? Are you DCAing to Brett? I haven't bought Brett in a while, but I think I'm at a good enough point where if Brett pumps, I'll be all right. But I haven't DCA'd in a while, but I probably should, to be honest. Look, if you're thinking like it's the bottom for Bitcoin, you're probably thinking that it's the bottom for a lot of good, strong projects that move with the market, right? Keep in mind, like people will point out one thing moving, and sometimes we'll have these things moving in the market, but a lot of times everything's just moving together, right? Vitalik just spoke on this for ETH. Yeah, so quantum computing could crack codes, right? We did see that. We heard from Michael Saylor that he thinks it's not really that close. It's like 10 to 20 years out. Something that's a big time frame, but that's what he thinks, right? Which is interesting, which is a bull case for, centralized exchanges, because last thing you want is, especially like old era, like Satoshi wallets, like if they get hacked, bro, oh my goodness, not good. I thought this notification was a damn vid. Yeah, I've been streaming for a little bit, Jay. I felt it this morning. I see Brett doing some moves like Pepe. Even Pepe fell 90%, but then after that was history. Yeah, true. Well, we talked about it before. Most top projects with meme coins literally like have massive retracements. That's just part of it, What a surprise. I know, I was feeling it this morning. It's kind of I got a new light, got a new setup. It feels good. It feels fresh, feels fresh. Even I need to do something with all this shit, but never a bad time to buy Crow. Hey, if you're bullish on altcoins, I mean, obviously Crow, huge community and whatnot. A lot of things that I think is still kind of flying under the radar is that, Crow's partnership with Donald Trump, right? Most meme coins, what about the whole market? Yeah, they'll move, but who knows if they'll recover, right? Ain't no way you think we bounce back after this. Rodney, you should start a Discord, bro. Just a suggestion. Think about it. I know I had a Discord too. Yeah, maybe I should start one. One thing at a time, just to hang out and whatnot, shoot the shit. Obviously, it would be free and those sorts of things. So this is pretty big right here, obviously. So this is from Rand Nooner. The AI bubble could pop tonight. NVIDIA reports in hours, and if they miss, the entire AI trade could unwind. Bitcoin is already near its biggest pullback of the cycle, below the 50-week moving average, with a death cross forming. Now live on CryptoBank. So if you think about like all the different market caps, like obviously NVIDIA is like, it mogs everything else combined, right? It's insane. So keep in mind, a lot is riding on NVIDIA. And that's the kind of downside, a big downside you get when everything relies on like one major company. Like it's a huge time for crypto right now. We could have a massacre. I'm talking about a godly massacre today if NVIDIA has something suspect with their earnings and stuff like that. It could be a massacre. So keep that in mind, guys. Things could get really bad today. It's huge. So just keep that in mind. That's actually a big deal. We're seeing that stablecoin outflow surge. Over $4.24 billion in stablecoins leave the market in 30 days, signaling weakening buying power. Javi, hey Javi, we started a little early today. I cannot wait till you announce you calling the bear I want Jayhawk was right stream. You'll get that for sure. True, if the NVIDIA's earnings are bad, then today would be a bloodbath, a real blood. Yeah, for sure, real bloodbath. I mean, we've had some real. I mean, October 10th is a real. This is funny, real bloodbath. But it would be absolutely insane. NVIDIA forward guidance will matter even more than its earnings. They have to be positive about future prospects. Yeah, true. Honestly, I think AI is just heating up. Like no one knows really like how good it's. I mean, just think about the gains we've made in AI over the last 5. It's crazy, right? in general. And NVIDIA, man, I mean, it's technical age. We need them for everything, right? You need semiconductors for everything. But AI, man, is, I don't know. What's up, Kayla? I thought I heard you in Hobbs Discord. How we doing, Kayla? GM. We are at peak fear right now. This is pretty good. We are at peak fear, and usually that's a good time to buy. But honestly, not all the time being fear is fear. Obviously, you want to buy when it's fearful, right? But like, just because it's peak fear doesn't mean it's always a great buying opportunity. It doesn't mean always we're going to go up. If it's bad earnings, I see a 75K Bitcoin. Oh, please, no. Javi, GM, how we doing? Yes, DCA. Javi knows the plan. DCA all day, baby. That's really what it is. I mean, we do get caught up in the day-to-day news, but if you think of the grand scheme of things, you think crypto is going to be successful, because the truth is everyone's trying to become like the leader in crypto right now. That's kind of the vibe. And the United States isn't going to get left behind. We could have definitely gotten an earlier start by not being so anti-crypto, but hey, better late than never. Or maybe just in time. You got 3.5 years of DCA. The cool thing about being in the trenches, like we are all the time, is like there's always something going on. There's gonna be something. There's gonna be something going on for crypto. Hey, what's up, Sebastian? How we doing? And if you guys could share the stream on X, please repost the stream on X. I would appreciate it. Like if you're watching on X. It's free to do. It's cheap. If you're watching on YouTube, like the video at least, and subscribe to the channel if you like being here. And we did have one member today. Shout out to Caesar for becoming a member with the Thierry community. Appreciate you, brother. You even feel like these noobs can do it better than us jaded degens? Sometimes, Kayla, I think that not being jaded is good but I think that being jaded is probably smart because we're just used to like the bullshit, right? So I don't know. It could have its pros and its cons, right? Thank you so much, Sebastian, for reposting the stream. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if you guys reposted the stream and I didn't see it, let me know, because sometimes X is bad with comments. I love your positivity. Yeah, I mean, nothing's for sure, right? For sure, like, deal. Martin, thank you so much. Or Javi, thank you so much for reposting the stream. I appreciate you. Kayla, thank you so much for reposting the stream. I appreciate you. And again, Sebastian, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for reposting the stream. It's free to do. This is a good post from Jacob Keem's usually a bear, but it's pretty cool. Don't chase success like a desperate fool. It runs from neediness. Instead, pull it towards you with clarity. Know exactly what you want. A Lamborghini, a mansion in France? Fine. Write it down. Then map the path that it will take to make it real. Success doesn't come to wishful thinkers. It comes to those who are bold enough to name their desires and disciplined enough to turn them into reality. This is alpha. Thank God I had a new keyboard. But I do like Jacob Keem. And I think that kind of like that sentiment, like with crypto, let's see how the market's doing right now. With crypto, and we're dumping right now a little bit, I guess. Maybe 0.5% of the 24-hour chart, you could say. But with crypto, like usually like the get rich quick thing is like kind of like and usually a lot of people get wrecked, but DCAing all day is like this shit, right? Unpopular opinion. Crypto's in decay. Not the market cap, but everything around it is slowly collapsing. And all the old fiat and banking gentlemen and women who call crypto a scam are being proven right because of our passive silence. The criticism from traditional finance has always been sounded arrogant and outdated. Yet the irony is that the loudest voices calling crypto a scam are now being validated by what the industry has allowed to happen. And I think that's some of that's true. Not because crypto as a technology is fraudulent, but because the community has tolerated behavior that is destroying its own credibility. i.e. the Trumps making money for themselves. For years, the sector promised decentralization, transparency, and financial freedom. Instead, it became dominated by insiders, custodians, power brokers, and opaque structures that mirror the worst elements of the legacy system. One of the things I talked about with crypto is like how the elites kind of infiltrated our system, our space, right? The industry discredits itself. Every scandal reinforced the narrative. They point to rug pulls, market manipulation, collapsed stablecoins, insider trading, bribed creators, and disappearing liquidity, and say that was inevitable. They claim that an unregulated system can only end in chaos. They claim that the market driven by speculation instead of value cannot survive. And the painful part is that our lack of collective action gives their argument weight. True innovation demands responsibility. Instead, too many investors chase fantasy gains, too many builders cut corners, too many leaders stay silent when wrongdoing appears. Silence becomes complicity, and complicity becomes proof that the critics were right. Crypto still has the potential to transform finance. It has the tools to build systems that are fairer, more transparent, and more resilient than anything the traditional world ever created. But this potential means nothing if the community remains passive while the worst actors control the narrative. If we allow scams to thrive, the old critics will continue to win the argument. If we fail to protect users, the legacy system will always claim the moral superiority. If we do not defend integrity, then crypto will be remembered as not a revolution, but a missed opportunity. The future of the space depends on people who refuse to accept the decay that has taken over parts of the industry. The old world is being proven right only because we stopped fighting for what crypto is meant to be. 100x is not a revolution. A revolution builds something that survives. A casino can be one small part of the ecosystem, but it never can become the core of it. If everything depends on speculation, nothing meaningful grows. Regulation will not disappear. If the industry wants credibility, it must work for it and take the process seriously. Tell me your thoughts on this. I think that's a great post. That's a great post. It's long, but yeah. I know too long didn't read. I know. If you're going to get wrecked DCAing right now, this is the top of the dip. Yeah, we're going to see, right? Larry Summers resigning from OpenAI's board amid the release of his Epstein files. Let me see if I can find some stuff on the Epstein files. Like, did they release some of it, right? Wishful thinking. What matters is trapping boomers' money on chain. That's what will increase crypto's legitimacy. That's actually true. Shout out to the ETFs, right? Ramen Senpai, thank you so much for reposting the stream. I appreciate you. Let's see if there's anything on the Epstein files right now.
We are now hearing for the first time since the Senate made its move from President Trump. Gabe Gutierrez is at the White House. Come on in, Gabe, because it came on Truth Social, which is where the president often delivers that first reaction in the last few seconds.
Yeah, that's right, Hallie. Look, no sooner than I had to walk away from this camera a few minutes ago, went inside to speak with White House officials about whether the president would sign this bill potentially tonight. At that same exact time, the president posting this on Truth Social, not giving any indication for a timeline, but notably saying, quote, "I don't care when the Senate passes the House bill, whether tonight or at some other time in the near future. I just don't want..."
Dude, this is pretty crazy, right?
Republicans to take their eyes off all the victories we've had. And then he goes on to list.
This is pretty Trump. This is pretty funny. Like, Trump is like, now that they have to release the Epstein files, which are going to be heavily redacted. He's like, hey guys, hey, don't forget all the positive things we've done. Okay. The big, beautiful bill. No men in transgender sports, I think it's funny. Release the files. I got my Saitama hoodie on. We gonna go to the moon, guys. Let's go. Changing my name to Yogi. That's why I'm bullish on SWE. They are building quantum security for the new internet. Yeah, SWE obviously had a lull because of the whole hack thing, but I think that probably okay. Dude, how did we get the Cryptos R Us where we have
spike?
There's 3,000 people watching at once, on YouTube. We have 18 people on YouTube. How did we get the Cryptos R Us, right? Let's go, George. How do we get there? Shout out to Saitama, right? What a time to be alive that was. What a time to be alive. You know? But this is my favorite news source, guys. It's called Breaking Points. And they do have a little bit of their biases, but it's really good. Like, if you're watching news, you need to watch Breaking Points. Breaking Points is probably the best when it comes to like reporting, because these guys are not really biased. Like, they have their biases, and it's obvious sometimes, but they're going to tell you the full story. And I think that Crystal and Sagar are like the two main hosts are like the best, like they're like the best like personalities for like news, because they both have their biases a little bit, but they're so fair. You know, I think Crystal is a little nuts sometimes, but Sagar, most importantly, is just huge, right? It's just huge. If you're bullish on Pepe and base, Brett Shib on base is your next play. What's up, Sir Gaines? I appreciate you shilling. People love to shill. If I sold my Saitama when it was its all-time high, I would have made out sick. Yeah, dude, a lot of people. I mean, that's a lesson, right? The truth is, though, I mean, I don't think we're going to get those same projects that that we thought we're not going to get those chances again, in my opinion, where the projects just do so well. Right, like that. Like, we have like an extended period of time to hold them. But if we do, at least your lesson is to sell when you can. Or maybe we'll get a meme coin runner like that. I hope we get like big runners again. We deserve 1,000x. You know what I mean? You're right. Totally different time, dude. I know. What's up, Otman? How we doing? Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, dude. Totally different time. Totally different time. But about the Epstein situation, this everything going on in the administration, like it's great. Then I turned into I can't wait for my taxes ass nigga. I can't. Fuck. I'll probably be in jail. It's gonna get worse before it gets better, fam. Hold strong. That could be true. Yeah. Farcoin is an easy 10x now, but for now I can't prove it. Proof it. I bought my first Bitcoin in 2010. I was a big Kaiser Report fan, Max Kaiser, and he discovered it back then and I was all in. He convinced me. I wish I would have bought Bitcoin earlier. I saw it everywhere because it was big on like the online gamer community. And I'm kind of a nerd in that way. And I heard about it a lot, but obviously I don't have much. I mean, at the time it didn't take much, but yeah, to figure out how to get it. Like, it was so hard to get it back in the day. And honestly, to keep it. So many people got wrecked and stuff like that. I mean, there were safe ways to keep it, but you don't know till you don't know, till you're in the space sometimes. Here's another big piece of macroeconomic news. U.S. mass layoff warnings are rising at a concerning pace. Pretty much 40,000 Americans were given advance layoff notice in October, the second highest since the 2020 pandemic. These notices are issued under the Worker Adjustment and Restraining Notifications, WARN Act, which obligates covered employers to provide at least 60 days of notice before mass layoff or plant closing. This marks a 162% spike since August, where pretty much 15,000 Americans received such notice. Since 2006, WARN notices have only been higher in 2008, 2009, 2020, and May 2025. As a result, the 12-month average rose to 26,000, matching levels in 2028. More mass layoffs coming. And we've heard like pretty much mass layoffs from like Amazon and stuff like that. Like I've been hearing about that. Yeah, going to get worse for 3 years. I can't say that yet. Yeah, I got my Bitcoin seized by the FBI using a Latvian Bitcoin exchange. Jesus Christ. See, there's a lot of people that like got crypto back in the day that just couldn't hold on to it. Also lost Bitcoin in Mt. Gox hack inside job. Yeah, I heard about that. It's a big one, right? Tell them your Corona versus Ethereum story. I know. And pretty much the story is I remember back in the day when Ethereum was like $2 or like $5. I was just spending. I remember like vividly like going out a lot and just spending like lots of money like on a Corona, like $5 per Corona. You buy like 6 of those in one night. It's $30. You could have bought like 6 Ethereum. Hindsight's 2020, motherfuckers. Hindsight's 2020. You know, hindsight's 2020. Good times though. It was the wild, dude. I know, dude, it was nutty. You know, it was fun. You know, it was fun. I had a lot of fun. You know, but yeah. It still is a Wild West, Milton, but man, crazier back. And literally, no mainstream media coverage of crypto was good at all. Obviously, Trump's talking about his replacement for Powell. We don't need a yes men controlling the fucking interest rates in our country. I just don't think we need that. You know, obviously, Trump's if you're not doing what he says, he's gonna come and fucking attack you, which I think is fucking crazy. But why is anybody surprised? You know, why is anybody surprised, really? The share of Bitcoin held for less than 155 days that are underwater have now reached levels last seen in 2018 bear market bottom, the 2020 COVID crash, and 2022 capitulation low, and the 2023 regional banking crisis. That's good. Shit, Milton, motherfucker, always used to tell me my story on how I lost. Oh, yeah. So you lost your Shiba Inu seed phrase. Yeah. I remember my banks saying, "Are you sure you want to wire this money to random Ukrainian bank account?" Like, absolutely, I'm sure. 1,000%. This is the quantum computing thing. Vitalik Buterin warned the elliptic curve cryptography could be broken by quantum computing before 2028. U.S. presidential election, urging ETH to upgrade to quantum-resistant cryptography within 4 years. What are your thoughts? That's interesting. I mean, I've heard like predictions like 10 to 20 years before we have to worry about quantum computing, but obviously, Vitalik thinks it could be sooner. This is true. How to make a man happy right there. Boy, if that ain't true, just some green candles. They say nature's a cure to depression. I think green candles. Nothing makes me fucking, happier than green candles, What's up, Jimino? Yes, we will hold our aura. Sunshine says B&Bers. The good thing is that there's a lot of good communities out there. I see you guys showing up every day, and hopefully you guys do well in the future. Hey, maybe we'll be talking about one of these small cap projects that's like sub 1 million, hit like a 50 million market cap or something like that, or $1 billion or something crazy like that. Hey, you never know. I stopped taking the shotgun approach to buying every single thing that I see because I realize that I'm losing. You just lose money so fast, right? You realize that you end up losing a lot more money. But where are the real projects at? Tired of being rugged, tired of being manipulated. Where are the real projects at anymore? Come on, give me something to look forward to. I'm talking about, like, you hold something and then you like daydream about it making you a fucking billionaire. This is actually some pretty interesting. So obviously Jim Cramer, we talked about this earlier, but he made this post. Almost feels like Cabal is trying to keep Bitcoin above 90K. I like Bitcoin, but I do not like any of the derivatives created to play in it or game it or mine it. I agree. Just see it that Trump ego is jagged. Little pill. He is lesser two evils. Imagine if it was Kamala. True. But keep in mind that crypto is like rivaling big oil when it comes to being able to lobby. There's a lot of money in crypto, and what we know about American politics is whoever can fucking lobby the hardest and pay, they're going to get, it doesn't matter. That's why that's why I didn't really. So obviously we wouldn't have the same kind of vibe we're having with Kamala Harris, right? Obviously, but crypto wouldn't have gone anywhere. It wouldn't be extinct because they have too much money. There was a lot of pro crypto people supporting Kamala Harris too, but yes, I'd say lesser of two evils, mostly because of her dumb cackle. Right? That means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. What's up, our gaming Meteora? But yeah, I agree. Definitely lesser of two evils for sure. 1,000%. We saw that Cristiano Ronaldo met with Donald Trump. That's interesting. Love that. Love that for him. I love that for him. I wonder what's going to really come out with. I can't wait for all the Epstein stuff to like actually come out. You know, like what's going to happen? You know. Hey Rodney, check out Santa on Solana at CTO. Oh, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah. So it's another narrative token, right? Santa Flex. Another narrative token. You keep in mind when it comes to like something like Santa or any narrative coin, like it's gonna pump until it's hits its thing, which is Christmas, and then take a big shit and maybe come back next year. You never know. You really into this Epstein shit, huh? I am. I just want to know because I just think it's interesting because I've never seen like Donald Trump like be on the ropes. You know, I've never seen him be on the ropes. You know, like that, like really like, you know, like flip-flopping and going after people who are, it's interesting. And I'm like, I want to explore this a little more. You know? Like, and protecting, like I'm not some fucking white knight, but if there's one thing we can agree on, pedophilia is wrong. You know? Niggas can't really mind it is our business. You know? Jayhawk, you have a girl, a baby girl, you know? What about those other baby girls that were exploited? You know what I mean? That's what I think about, dude. Like we can't protect those people. We just can't. That's where we draw the line. You know? Like in prison, you can be in prison for murdering your family. You can be in prison for shooting up a school, but like no one's looked down upon more than pedophiles, you know? And if you're going to run on it, stick to the fucking plan. Like you got to follow through, man. Motherfucker would die playing with that's what I'm saying, you know? And it's, you know, it's not mine. And I think that the argument is, and we saw like Leah Hepburn, right? The big crypto chick, right? What's her name? Halliburton. Obviously big in the crypto space. This chick, right? I remember obviously fucking smoking hot, right? Smoke show. I remember she came out like, and obviously she's, you know, rich as fuck, her and her brother, you know, I follow them both on Instagram and stuff. They follow me and stuff. And she follows me on X too, and stuff. And, you know, but I remember when, you know, the whole Epstein situation came out, I think that had a really bad take. And she was pretty much saying like, hey, pretty much you're broke if you care about the Epstein situation, you know? And I think that is such a tone deaf take. Like, I get it. Most things don't really matter to a regular person. They shouldn't matter to a regular person. Right? But something like this should matter. And as Americans, it's okay for us to care about certain issues. Like, you don't have to put the blinders on and put your head down and ignore issues, you know, just because it doesn't directly impact your life. But it impacts the integrity of our civilization for the future. You know, it's a big deal. So like calling people broke and saying that, you know, you shouldn't be worrying about this. And if you are, you're just too poor. You need to focus on yourself is like, we need to draw the line somewhere. You know, we can't just not care about anything because things are going so well in our lives, you know. I know, Milton, but I just want to see just give us everything. Give us what you promise. Once the doctor said it was a girl, I knew I wouldn't grow old and feel it. It was over with a life sentence. I'm just waiting on the moment. Yeah, exactly. Trump was pissed that Epstein and Maxwell were poaching his female staff from Mar-a-Lago. That's why he banned them. But the thing is, like, I want to know, fine, just give us everything undocumented. Let us, you know, make the judgment, you know. CETA screwed the pooch, which made it did, yeah. CETA it made it look bad. You know, the Sui developer, I don't know if you guys have noticed, like obviously CETA, the biggest liquidity provider on Sui. I mean, it killed a lot of meme coins. But I would say is that, you know, they did a good job at like addressing all the drama in real time. Like Sui did a good job at like getting out there in front of the public and like, you know, talking about the issues right away, even though it did knock them back quite a bit. I would say Sui just hasn't been the same since that. And shout out to the Santa community. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the Santa community. Slurpee, shout out to the Rage Guy fam. Appreciate you guys. We just got to draw the line somewhere. Like we got to say, hey, this is not right. You know, I get it. Most times you should just pay attention to your own life, but I think it's okay for us to say, hey, what the fuck's going on with the elites banging kids? And the truth is, like, is there some kind of external force controlling our government, Israel? You know, is there? Because we should know about that. You know. And you know, I like this post from Alex Becker. It says the simple truth is that no matter what's going on in the world, your best action is to counter it 9 out of 10 times to make a fuck ton of money. Isolate your focus, out succeed the world's problems. And I like that, but I think that 1 out of 10 times is pedophilia, right? What's up, DeFi House? How we doing? GM. What's up, Brendan? How we doing? GM. Right to check out BNB guy keeps chilling, bro. Shout out to, chill guy. You know, you can't take that meme and make it yours. You know, I mean, you could, but Rodney, bro, we're gonna need a CTO on Solana. I know. CTO Solana. Yeah. You know, the thing I've always, what's up, Garfield, GM? The thing I've always like said, shout out to the bike community. The thing I've always said, like, is like the thing that was really holding Solana up is just shit, like meme coins, which I don't think is bad. Like shit coins have its place, but you can't live and die on that because people are just like the novelty is kind of gone on Solana, I would say. And I'm not saying Solana's dead because it's not. But what I'm saying is like when you're just known for the place where, you know, shit that people are going to associate with shit and gambling and stuff like that. The reason why Solana did so well is because of Pump Fund. Make no mistake. Like I'm telling you, meme coins are powerful to an ecosystem, or just small cap tokens are powerful. When you encourage people to build on your network for whatever reason, like that really gets it going. That's why we had Tron do some insane things. Remember their meme coin phase stuff? BNB, right? Obviously with Aster, but obviously a lot of people, and also a lot of people were building on BNB, right? But I love shit and gambling. I know, me too. Hey, at the end of the day, we're just crypto people, right? Hey, at the end of the day, you can't fight the degeneracy. I'm just a human, you know. I feel you. I'm just the guy. You know, hey, at the end of the day, I'm just a guy, you know. So I feel you on that one. You know, hey, we're just, you know, I'm just the guy too. You know. So I feel you. Degen all day. I know we're degen. Hey, at the very core of it, we're just degenerates, right? Just shitbags. You know? Yes, degen to the day we die, of course. I was walking to your show, to your show, Rodney. Now I can say it's going to be a good day. I appreciate you, Brandon. Appreciate that, man. And I'm glad to see you guys. And I know I streamed a little early today. We're already an hour and like 45 minutes in, but I just felt it. You know, sometimes you just feel it. We have, you know, top crypto people like Arthur Hayes still selling. So, Rage Guy coded. When liquidity will enter the market again. I know, yeah. I'm addicted to shit coins. Me too, right? Degen, fuck yeah. Hey, at the end of the day, we're just degens. We're just regular people, right? Yeah, and that's why the Arthur Hayes like situation, like I like him, you know, but like it's just a hype guy too, you know, just literally a hype guy too, really. He's all talking about Zcash because it's hot right now. Zcash over XRP, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, nigga, you think you'll ever launch another token like a CCM? Yeah, I think so, but now's not the time to do it. You should do more spaces. I've actually become a little addicted to it. We're doing one at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So Solana generates real daily volume from its memes. Still make around 500K USD a day. in this bear market. All my focus is on SIBEC now. Actually, I need to schedule a space. I'm going to do that right now. One second. Post. Hey, 10x a day keeps the brokey away. I know, right? Hey, can we get a 10x in a day again? You know, I miss that. Most networks don't make much of any daily revenue. XRP makes around 2K USD daily revenue. That's less than your local. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Like I've said before, like even like the biggest hype plays, like it's still speculation, right? You're going to laugh at me. I bought 2 Bitcoin solo miners. How do you even know the story on those? They're lottery mine. I don't know. What's the story on those? Tell me the story. I always thought about Bitcoin mining. I think like what is the energy to like actual, I mean, obviously in the grand scheme of things, like mining Bitcoin is pretty sweet, but it must take a lot of energy, right? You know, but I know people that had like miners set up. Like, but if you're like an OG, like if you get into something, if you get into mining something like early, like dude, you're chilling, bro. If you get into mining like early, bro, like I remember people were like mining Caspa, like dude, you're killing it, right? But you got to get in there early. You know, part of mining is like getting to a place where like it, and obviously if you mine something and it takes a shit, then whatever. But it gets, you know, mining is one of those things where if you get in early, man, I mean, yeah. Let's see how the market's doing right now. Hey, we're moving. Market's moving right now. Let's go. Kinda. We're in the green. All right, we're rich again, boys. MasterCard teams up with Mercurio and Polygon Labs. I don't know what Mercurio is, but so they mine at very low energy. The chance of hitting a block is rare. They don't pay you anything, but if they find a block, you get 3 Bitcoin. Jesus Christ. Give me a second, guys. You know what? Let me see on 2030 next bull top DCA. We had a fun time. We have time. I know, right? I mined Bitcoin every day for a while in 2013. Lost my seed. Jesus fuck, dude. There's so many of that. I mean, honestly, the quantum computing things, being able to recover all the Bitcoin's nice, but you know what? The market is like this. We need a safe place. I take 2% per day in a solid project these days. Hedge is one of those. Oh yeah. Shout out to what's up, Almighty Jake. Yeah. We get to watch Roddy for the next 5 years. Hey, let's go. All right, guys. With that, though, I'm going to be ending the show, guys. I might do an evening stream today, so tap in for that. But I appreciate we've gone for almost 2 hours. Appreciate you guys. Smash the like button one more time. Subscribe to the channel. Repost, like, all that good stuff. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys today. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I may or may not see you tonight, depending on what's going on in the market. But thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.